Hmm. Beautiful. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You stay where you are. You're already laying on your back, so stay there. And at home, you can take a moment to lay then on your back. If you want to have the bolster below your knees or below your head, please go ahead and do so. And like always, truly taking this moment when you start to land into your mat to be truly a sacred moment when you consciously choose to start to drop your day bit by bit, where you open this beautiful door that is that door into yourself, into all that which maybe has been waiting for you an entire day, an entire week, for your simple yet incredibly powerful presence. Your legs may be straight, but this may not be comfortable, so you can also bend your knees and have the knees up. You could also choose to be on your side or even sitting. Really, as you enter the practice, you want to be in an incredibly comfortable shape, no matter really what that looks like. So you really take your time. If you need to stretch, if you need to change because you notice that that's not your space, you're absolutely and definitely invited to do so. In this way, your entire body really starts to understand that you are there. That even if it is the listening of a little tiny thing that you adjust, there starts to be a level of communication at the body, at this other intelligence that inhabits you, and that in a way wants to remind you that holds the greatest guidance of all. Your eyes, they're not just closed, they are resting also back towards the eye socket, as if you release that needing to be looking everywhere and even within. And instead, your eyes find that sweet space of rest. There is a gentleness in your inner gaze that can welcome the movement of image, the movement of sound, of sensation, but yet you're not forcing yourself to find anything. Instead, you're open to receive everything. Your eyebrows soften and that space in between the eyebrows widen. Your forehead becomes incredibly spacious. And with that, as if you start to create space in between each and every thought that forms. So that out of that space, you release the explaining, the needing to analyze everything, to understand anything, or to solve whatever happened, whatever you think that will happen in the future. And instead, for every little space that is created, you start to descend into that wisdom that is infinite, just sitting, pulsating, vibrating in the rest of your body. So through the contact of the back, you start to move downwards to the space of your shoulders, the back of your heart, your arms, the back of your hands. And you invite all these spaces to exhale and to meet the ground, the earth beneath you. As if you let your skin in a way open and you're offering as a way to say thank you for holding me, earth, is to release layers and layers of tension. Your shoulders let go. your heart starts to pulse to the back. And there is this tiny little space from which any emotional tension that is simply the resistance to feel is not actually the emotion herself, but just the you bracing, the you maybe trying to have it all under control, you trying to manage your inner state. That is what creates more pain, more suffering than emotion itself. So you observe if within your heart you're simply resisting anything. Or maybe that accumulation, because you're in your week, you don't have time for that. And so how is to have a little bit of an empty space to let yourself be hugged and embraced by the earth from behind you. And in that moment to choose to soften a tiny bit towards yourself. You notice every other space of your back that may be in contact with the floor, and for all of you, that will be probably different depending on how you are. And you invite all these other parts of your back to widen. And as you take your next exhale, naturally, visually, as if you move all that pattern of holding out. As if you give yourself permission to drop everything to the earth and to say, this is me, I am here. In the knowing that exactly as you are, you're welcome. That any practice is there to criticize or to want you to be different. But actually it opens that layer of acceptance as a true alchemical ingredient of any and every transformation. And so you let yourself, as much as you are received by the earth and by the space, to be allowed and received by yourself. To say within yourself that I am here with all of this. I don't need to hide from myself or the world. This is all there is. And this is perfect and beautiful exactly as it is. You soften your hips as your breath reaches all the way here. That might be that lower belly that expands as you inhale. And that incredible softness as you exhale until the last drop of breath. You recognize what maybe is present in the space. The physical presence, but also that other layer of subtle presence of maybe another space where we hold, we tense, or we resist. To recognize what is living in the space of our bodies. And in truth, every practice, it is the practice of softening the resistance. Learning to meet yourself exactly as you are. In that, remembering that that is enough. And that you're constantly loved in that way. You notice your legs, your feet, your toes. And you release the running away. And instead, where you are, you pause. And you welcome yourself back to this home that exists within you. With your next inhale, take your entire body with the luminosity of your presence. And take a moment to observe for you where that which you consider that is you lives in your body. Where do you live in your body? Where that part of you that is bigger than what is happening in your life in this moment? The part of you that is bigger than the story that brought you to be today on this mat? And that part of you that is bigger than everything else that you will touch in the future. This part of you that is infinite, that is everlasting, that contains in himself, herself, the collection of all the teachings across space and time. And that is here maybe just to expand into greater teachings, but they are not ending with you, they continue across space and time. This part that in itself becomes maybe that incredible and ultimate place of rest. This part that is immense love, that blends all the human in you with all the divine in you, that blends all the material because you can still see your toes and feel, and the ethereal in the presence of each breath. And intuitively, without thinking much about it, let your hands rest somewhere in your body to feel your breath in that place. It doesn't matter where, and it doesn't matter how you are, but somewhere. And this shifts and changes. And then send your breath, and with that you send yourself there. And say within yourself, I'm here. And from that presence that you establish, take a moment to ask this part of you anything that in this moment you are sitting with in life. As here is where your inner oracle lives. As here is where all the infinite possibilities live. Here is where healing lives. And the access point is deep relaxation. So breathe, and maybe there is a color, an image, or something that shows or not. And ask to this part of you. And then 3 breaths to soften them backwards. And instead to simply open and stay receptive. Inhale through your nose. Exhale and sigh. Again, inhale through your nose. Exhale. One last one. Inhale to your nose, through your nose. Sigh. Beautiful. And now slowly with your next inhale, bring your knees all the way to your chest and move a little bit here, side to side, massaging your sacrum, the back of your shoulders, the sides of your back. Yeah, that's it. And then slowly let your body roll all the way to one side, left or right, whichever side is good for you. And you're gonna come all the way to sit at the middle of the mat, looking towards the right side. And you're gonna take your bolster and you're gonna put the bolster by the side of your right hip. if I did it right. Yeah, good. That's it. So yeah, you look to the right side, and then the bolster goes all the way there. So you have the bolster. It depends how you are. We're looking to the top of the mat or to the back of the mat. Your right hip is in contact with the bolster. Your right leg is there, and your left leg is back. We're gonna do two things. The first one, we're gonna glide the right arm. We're gonna bring the left arm on top. And this is gonna be the first thing that we explore. Your left leg can be as it is, or you could extend that left leg eventually all the way straight. And only if your balance is steady there. Yeah. You want to have the bolster almost touching the beginning of your hips. Now, at the end, I'm going to ask you to bring your hands to square your bolster. And we're going to turn the chest and we're going to come into a twist. And that's when you can bring the left knee again back inwards. This is going to be at the end. Yeah. That's so that you already know. And then when we go there, it's already there in your system. So first, all the way towards that side. Yeah. You want to make sure that the bolster is really in the middle of your body so that you don't need to struggle with, in a way, keeping yourself balanced in there. That is really important. So instead of the struggle, we're constantly into defining how much comfort we can bring into the being with the discomfort. As the discomfort will constantly arise in the body, in the heart, sometimes in both simultaneously for some of us. And so yet when that arises, how is it to remember this part within you that holds waves and waves of love, to the point that instead of fighting against what is here, it's gonna say, okay, this is here. Let's create that sense of comfort so we can relax, and then we can see and think better. And please do remember that there should be no pain. One thing is to be with a sensation that maybe has a gradient of discomfort, and that is absolutely welcome. But it's not okay if there is pain in one point, if you feel shooting sensation anywhere, electricity, or if it's so uncomfortable that you cannot breathe where you are. So if any situation that puts you out of your place arises in your own capacity, it's better, please, that you move, that you let me know that the form is not serving you, and that we together find that which is more appropriate. And this is a really important reminder for all of us. As sometimes what is not easy is really to discern what place I'm still doing good, and what place actually I am not doing good, and I need to shift, to change, to move, to readjust. In that constant knowing that in any case, you're always loved, you're always full, you're always whole. So that slowing down, in a way, starts to open that little door to observe all of this playing out in your inner universe. Invite the right side of your body to soften completely towards the support that you have below you. As if it would be the sweetness of the earth that is incredibly soft, and you can land in there. There is grass or moss. And then you can let yourself be held. And there is a deep, deep, beautiful exhale through that side. Your head is resting on your arm, for some of us, sometimes in front of the arms. Your hands can be clasping together, one on top of the other. And if you feel that your wrists are painful, that your wrists are breaking to the back, you could take a block and you can put a block below your wrist if your bolster is short and your arm is really long and you feel that discomfort. You can put a block in a way to also help that hand rest be leveled, yeah, with the rest of your arm. Your eyes are incredibly soft, as to be able to receive truly anything. We need a certain permeability in our presence, in a ways that laying down of the boundaries so that what is inside of you and also the ones inside of you, the barriers that you created in between that part of yourself and the one that is outside, just trying to have it all under control and all well and all figured out and all solved and all just in a kind of perfect. That part needs to soften, because otherwise there is no possibility to receive anything. Instead, it's a constant fight towards everything, a constant need to know everything and to have it all just figured out. Well, actually, we're here to not know anything and to slowly, by experience, by curiosity, to discover. It is in that discovery that the teachers are rising, yet are we permeable to them? As the time passes and your body softens, also it's very normal that you will have maybe more thoughts. And maybe there are a lot of things that are going on in your mind space. This will never stop for none of us. But there is this quality of choice. Where do we bring the attention? To nourishing the passing thoughts about yesterday, tomorrow, or maybe the current discomfort? Or do we bring the energy down just with curiosity to the sensation, to this breath, to what wants really the attention in the body as a place where maybe just energy is trapped? And the thoughts are there to keep you away from feeling. While the healing and the key that opens the door to the infinite part of you is not in the thoughts. It is here. Softening. Maybe my favorite word in the world. And maybe one that comes with a lot of challenge as well. It is the humility to say, I'm here, I don't know. And this is who I am in this moment. Not permanently, but right here. Bring your breath to that whole left side of your body. The side that is expanding up towards the sky. And I invite you to take 3 breaths to consciously, in a way, massage that left side. And all the rivers that, in a way, in this side, maybe feeling a little bit stuck or sticky, as all of the rivers, in a way, and in the same place. That is this infinite you. So inhale to the left side of your lungs for 1, 2, 3, 4. And then exhale down to the left leg and left arm for 4. Imagine 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale to your foot and your hand for 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale for 4, 3, 2, and 1. And we're gonna come straight away to the next form. So you're gonna bring your hands to square the bolster. And you're gonna turn your belly, your heart, all the way to the bolster. And you're gonna lower your belly all the way down. Now here you can either look to your left side, to the side of your right knee, or you can turn your head to the other side, to the right. And if you turn your head to the right, you're gonna be twisting also your cervical spine. If not, you won't. It should be, again, no pinching, no nothing, anywhere, in your legs, in your hips, in your spine, in your shoulders. So take the time that is needed to do this transition. Yeah. Maybe you like to do that in a different type of way, with a bolster in a different way. Yeah. There. Your arms can be by your side. Some of us sometimes like to bring the arms forward to hug the bolster. That would be another option. Yeah. And it can feel quite nice to lift your right hip and to move a little bit that right leg to back, towards the back of the mat and to the side. Sometimes it get a little bit stuck, the right leg, so the one that is on the bottom. So you could try also a little bit with that. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. If you want to go to the back of the leg and there is space there for you, you could also extend your right leg completely to the side. Yeah, that's it. And if you get there, if there is space there for you, with your left hand, you can find your right toes. Some of you may be, yeah, that's it. Yeah. And then there you will get also towards the back of your leg. And in that case, you're probably looking more towards the left side. Yeah. So options. Yeah. Do make sure that you're in your ear, that your neck is level, that you're not cracking your neck, Lena. Make sure that your neck feels okay as you have it. Yeah. Just checking. It's very hard from the outside to know what is your experience, although of course we can always have an idea, and that's where I offer you options. Because maybe one of those correspond to what maybe I perceive. But as there is no one way, it would be too easy for all of us to just be told is this way, right? It would be too easy, and in this school that is called planet Earth, where we come to learn what is to be human, there is a unique curriculum for each and every one of us. And there, maybe we're all learning the same things in different ways. And to know what is the way, it becomes that also for all of us, we have this part within ourselves that already knows. It is, as I was saying in another class, like this crystal ball. You go somewhere to someone, this witch that has this crystal ball, and start to look to your life. But actually, this crystal ball is simply the expression of that infinite part of you that has lived already tons in all directions before and after. And as this living thing within, it is you who can better go within and find, as a little bit the intention of the initial meditation, finding this in the body and being free to discover this, whatever is for you, to allowing that also to shift, to change, to discover your own inner territory. So then you know that you have yourself, that you can count with yourself, that you're not required to be perfect or to have it all under control. But actually, when you don't, you start to soften. And when you soften, all the pathways to your inner source open. And in that moment, you start to remember all that which maybe got forgotten for some time. Not lost, just forgotten. You cannot lose what you're made of. You cannot lose who you are. But we all forget. And we all need to be reminded. Observe how your belly, your heart has space to maybe relax towards the bolster. Give yourself permission to shift, to change, to honor what opens up when you really start to listen. And I invite you to take the last 3 breaths here. Now this time you're going to imagine that you're inhaling all the way from the crown of the head, down your spine, into your hips. And as you exhale, that you're exhaling through both of your legs, and you all have them in different ways, and out. And let at the end of the exhale, there will be this little pause where you imagine your entire body empty. Let's try. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 1, down to your hips, 2, 3, 4. Exhale to the legs for 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Now slowly, with your next inhale, if your right leg was straight, bend it. Push yourself out of the bolster. Move that bolster a little bit to the side. Yeah. And then how I like to do is to bring the right arm inside and to flip here to the back. Now, for some of you, being on the back for too long may not be the right place for whichever reason that might be. So instead of laying on your back, you can be on your side. Or what I like to do is to sit, actually. I really like to sit more and more. So you can also sit if that's comfortable. And you pause, as if you would be coming back to that cocooning space, just as like at the beginning of the practice. In that restful space that in a way would represent the being inside that cocoon of immense love. This place is not in a rush. This place has no worry and no hurry. It is there in an infinite understanding that everything is happening or not happening until you soften so much that you humble yourself to receive the teaching. For our control freak part, this is incredibly difficult. And this is some of the greatest teachings where in a way you surrender your ego to your soul, which doesn't mean not having identity, but just balancing everything and knowing when everything has a role to play. If you need it, you can take an inhale or can breathe together, inhaling through the nose. Exhale. And 2 more times. Inhale through your nose. Exhale. One last one. Through your nose, inhale. Through your mouth. And then very slowly. If you are on your back, you bring your knees all the way back to your chest. You're gonna sit to the same, looking to the same side, but you're gonna move the bolster to the opposite hip. So you stay looking to your right, and then you take that nice bolster and you put it all the way by the side of your left hip. So it means that if before it was in the back, now it's gonna be in the front. If it was on the front, it's gonna be in the back. Yeah, there. That right leg all the way back. Yeah. And the first thing, we started to glide. You glide, you glide, you glide. If you know that your wrist is sensitive, you can already take a block. And if your arm is really long, and if you want that support on your hand, it's not for everyone, but some people like to have the support here of the block. Others of us, it's just fine, or we feel okay to clasp the hands. I like to clasp my hands, for example, and to have the hands there. Yeah, almost as if there is a little bit more space on the right side of the body with hands like that. Your right leg can stay like that. Your right leg can go all the way straight. All the way straight. Only if you're not struggling with leaning or falling back or falling forward. And instead you can just be there. Yeah. It is truly an art to both find comfort in the discomfort and to learn to soften, to bring that quality of so much love that you don't need to do anything. You don't need to be any special. You just want to be yourself. And that is special enough. And that welcomes everything. And there is nothing, in a way, more or less that could be done to be able to receive more love. That's not true. It is unfortunately the way in which everything is built. To make us believe that there is something wrong with us and that we need many, many things so that we can be loved again. And yet, it couldn't be farther away from truth as just a simple act of having chosen to be here in this intertwine between the body and the breath, makes it of all of us an incredible bubble of immense love that is still somewhere, somehow, immensely connected to whichever place you imagine that you come from. That can only be another immense bubble of love. And so even from that perspective, there is no mistake. There is actually nothing wrong. There's maybe everything right. And everything that is just that teaching. It is in life itself, in the curriculum itself. And maybe how much softness can we learn to bring time after time after time? How much of that humility that means recognizing of what one is made can be brought to create that softening of the other need to push, to force, to solve. We will still need to push, to solve, to do, of course. But from which energy behind? What is driving all of that? It's always easy to stay in the surface. But the truth is that everything starts a little bit deeper than that surface, as much as this part is way, way, way deeper than the surface. until it just becomes so expansive that it's everything. And so we enter through every sensation in the body. If your mind takes you to outer space, meaning to your day, to tomorrow, to yesterday, to judgment of the now, notice how your body, and here the left side, is softly landing on the bolster, and from there softly landing on that cocooning of earth. And let consciously the next exhale in your own rhythm, in a way, bring you down there. The thoughts are just an excuse to not feel. As the more we are entertained by thinking, the less space there is truly to come to where the healing happens, that is, in the feeling. So notice all the sensations that show you that your body is here now. The textures of the bolster in contact with your side, the movements of your belly with each breath, the warmth maybe of your hands or of your feet. And for every little single second, your thoughts want to take you out of the real human experience that is being in the body. You go. It takes a moment to recognize that you left somewhere. You come back. You come back to honor this gift. You come back to honor the part that is there to guide you, that is not going to appear as that thought that wants you away. It's going to appear as the force that wants you here instead. That's why we say to feel is to heal. Because it happens actually first in the body. Softening that upper arm if it's above towards your head. And bringing that sweet presence to that side that is a little bit here, more open, more towards the air. Your right side. And with the inhale, inviting the inhale to expand the right side of your lungs. And then with the exhale, as if you flash it down through the right leg and through the right arm at the same time. And another layer of exhaling. Inhale there for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale for 4, 3, 2, One last one. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. And exhale, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then from here, square your bolster with your hands, one hand to each side of the bolster. Lift your chest, lift your belly, and roll, roll, roll until your chest, your belly are more forward towards the bolster. You have that choice as to which side to turn your head. I like here always to lift a little bit my left hip and to roll that leg a little bit. Sometimes it feels uncomfortable at the beginning, and like a little bit of movement there can help to release anything if needed. Now, some of you, as you did on the other side, can extend your left leg, and you can catch that left leg with your right arm. If it's there, close to you. From the top or from the bottom. There will depend how your shoulder is made. Yeah. To have that little, space on your leg. It's like a shape that touches everything in a way. Your spine, your hip, your legs, your arms. And you shift and you change and you let it in a way be alive. Movement always is actually welcome. Ending a form before maybe everyone else, it's totally okay. After all, that's the greatest teaching, not to follow anyone, but to let everything that is coming to you in a way be a touch of inspiration, and then you make it yours. And above anything, to let the agitation of the mind that wants to take you out of this experience, and to soften that by incredible devotion to life, and to connect back with breath, to connect back with sensation, to connect back to all that actually becomes the key that opens the door to that infinity that is you. Layer by layer, this moment by moment. In ways of surrendering after surrendering to what is, and shifting and changing according, and yes, of course, doing and moving and activating from a place that is soft, and in its softness it knows its power. It is about finding that perfect dance. When each part is needed to do what they do best, but not to take roles that are not here to do. Without a strong ego, we cannot function in society. Without a strong connection to soul, we cannot function either. The thing is that for a long time, only one part has been needed or celebrated. And I believe there is a big revolution in this moment for some years, when remembering that we're more than just what we do creates a shift. This is the inner journey to be outside from a new place. And you can start just by one exhale and a tiny moment that you let yourself just be. Soften completely your heart, your shoulders, around that bolster. See how much doing and how much surrender is present, even in something that looks incredibly, let's say, soft. It's not necessarily the case inside. See how you could harmonize it. Attention back in the breath, back in the sensation. Letting every exhale complete. There is space in between your teeth, your eyes are relaxed. And we take a moment to take the last 3 breaths, where with the inhale you let the breath from your brain down your spine into your hips. And then as you exhale through both of your legs, trying to follow from the inside the shape of your legs and then out into the earth. That's right. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, softening 4, 3, 2, 1. One last one. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then very slowly releasing your foot, releasing the leg if it goes to the side. And either you roll all the way to your belly, or you roll all the way to your back. And actually, before you roll to your back, you're gonna put the 2 blocks, and then you're gonna put the bolster on top of it. As if you create like a little shelf. And so then when you lay on your back, you bring your legs all the way there to see if that feels better for your back. If your head has a tendency to tilt backwards, you put a blanket or something that maybe you have a sweater or something below your head so that it's a little bit maybe more comfortable. Yeah. Now, some of us like to have the bolster just below the knees. So like really, yeah, you have it there, really, really back. Yeah, that's it. And see if that feels a little better. Yeah. Take the blanket if you're cold, or if you want a second blanket because you have the blanket below your head, let me know. Yeah. And take a moment to make yourself incredibly comfortable. To come back in a way to where you started. To come back to, in a way, Shavasana, that is the end and the beginning. And that space in where it's all met by the space of maybe where you come from, where you're going, that in a way accompanies you through this incredible journey that you call your life, but maybe it could just be also life expressed through you. And you soften so much that you can receive from that infinite part of you everything that you're ready to receive. Shavasana. And very slowly, coming all the way back to your physical body by noticing your breath, the sounds, the temperature, the light through your closed eyelids or whatever you gaze at with your open eyes. And then slowly bringing little movements to your toes, to your fingers. Big stretch, or bringing the arms around you, giving your body a beautiful hug. And then gently let your knees come all the way to your chest. Rolling to one side and for a brief moment finding a way to sit. Sitting. And as you sit, bringing your hands to your heart in any way or gesture that has meaning for you, the meaning of recognizing yourself, the meaning of giving gratitude to yourself and appreciation for who you are. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, bringing the chin to your chest. Namaste.